Now history has been made. The Indian women's cricket team proved the naysayers wrong in the most heroic way possible, storming into the final of the Women's ODI World Cup and standing just one win away from lifting its maiden world title. A diminutive Jemimah Rodrigues stood tall on the biggest stage with the innings of her life, as her unbeaten 127 of 134 balls sent India into their third Women's ODI World Cup final, halting the juggernaut of seven-time champions Australia with a record chase. Jemimah's arduous knock, her third century and first in a World Cup, was built around a robust 167-run stand for the third wicket with skipper Harmanpreet Kaur, which helped India end reigning champions Australia's 15-match unbeaten run in the competition across two editions. Now let's look at how Jemimah climbed to the top. The 25-year-old's masterful innings came at a crucial time as she faced personal challenges, including being dropped from last year's World Cup squad. She admitted to crying almost daily while dealing with anxiety and mental health issues. Jemimah was brought up in Bhandupur in Mumbai along with her two brothers. She started playing season cricket at the tender age of 4. Even before taking up cricket, Jemimah was already excelling in a number of sports. She represented Maharashtra in U17 field hockey and even played football and basketball at school. It was a tough choice for her to leave hockey for cricket, but the fact that she was selected in the U19 state cricket team as a 13-year-old once again proved her immense talent. Jemimah always says that her father has been her primary coach and owes all her success to him. She was named in the Indian squad for the 3-match ODI series against South Africa in February 2018 and made her women's 20 international cricket debut for India women against South Africa women. She made her women's one-day international cricket debut for India women against Australia women on 12th March 2018. She was named in India's squad for the 2018 ICC Women's World 20 tournament in the West Indies and was named as the standout player in the team by the International Cricket Council after the tournament. In January 2020, she was named in India's squad for the 2020 ICC Women's T20 World Cup in Australia. In May 2021, she was named in India's Test squad for their one-off match against the England's women's cricket team. In August 2022, she won the silver medal with India's team at inaugural women's cricket tournament at the Commonwealth Games. In the inaugural edition of Women's Premier League in 2023, she was acquired by Delhi Capitals for a sum of 2.20 crore. Now remember that the semi-final match turned in India's favour through a crucial 167-run partnership between Jemimah Rodrigues and captain Harmanpreet Kaur. Kaur's innings of 89 runs added to India's win. Arjuna awardee Harmanpreet Kaur also has many laurels under her name. Under her leadership, the team reached the final in her first World Cup as a captain. The 2025 Women's Cricket World Cup, she plays as an all-rounder and in 2018 became the first woman for India to score a century in T20 international match. Kaur is the only Indian woman cricketer with more than 3,000 runs in T20s. She is one of the only 3 Indian women to score more than 3,000 runs in women's ODI. As captain, she became the first woman to win her first 3 test matches in charge of India and made history by becoming the first captain in Women's Premier League history to lift multiple titles. Kaur was born in Punjab in a family which loved sports. Harman's father was her first coach and made her ODI debut at the age of 20 in 2009 against Pakistan's women's team. In 2019, during the series against South Africa, she became the first Indian cricketer to play in 100 international 20s matches. She plays for the captains Mumbai's Indians in the Women's Premier League also. In 2023, she became the first Indian cricketer, male or female, to appear in 150 T20 internationals. She was also the first Indian woman to be named one of Wisden's 5 cricketers of the year. Now, apart from the batters, on a day when most of India's bowlers went for plenty, the youngest player in the squad, Sri Charni, the bandana wearing left arm orthodox spinner from Andhra Pradesh, held her own. At the innings break, the 21-year-old spell of 10-0-49-2 had given India the slightest of hopes, but in a knockout game of fine margins, it was all Harmanpreet and that she needed. Now, Charani represents Andhra in domestic cricket and Delhi Capitals in the Women's Premier League. She was the first woman from the YSR Kadapa district in Andhra Pradesh to be selected for the Indian cricket team at the age of 20, and her biggest inspiration was Smriti Mandhana and Yuvraj Singh. In April 2025, she earned maiden call-up for national team for the ODI Tri-Series against Sri Lanka and South Africa, and since then remains unstoppable. Now, well, every team member gave it their all in that match, and it was a night of ecstasy in Navi Mumbai, with India beating Australia. When the cameras panned to the Indian dugout, Smriti Mandhana could be seen sprinting with all her team members to reach Jemimah, who was in the middle of the pitch. Down on her knees in disbelief, the woman in blue could now lock horns with a formidable South African side in the summit clash on November the 2nd at the D.Y. Patil Stadium. India would start slight favourites for that one. All right, I have my guest Shekhar Vijayan, who's a sports journalist and commentator. Mr. Vijayan, I'd like to begin with your opening comments.
So I think it's a very, very inspirational victory. And as you were talking about Jemimah, the kind of story she has, kind of trials and tribulations she's gone through. She was dropped earlier, and then she's come back so strong to win this match for India. I think it speaks a lot about the kind of teamwork which the Indian women's cricket team has in terms of the ODI and in terms of what they really believe in. This is, I think, the whole of India is celebrating this victory, and just one more victory to go against South Africa in home conditions, in familiar conditions. And, like you mentioned, I think it's not just about one person. It's a total team effort. The captain led well. The fielding was good. They didn't drop any catches. They did what they needed to do in terms of winning the game. And that too, against a team like Australia, which is such a fancied team in World Cup situations. Australian teams, be it the men or the women's cricket team, is a very, very powerful, opposition. And to come in and defeat them, India, which they did it now, against them, speaks a lot about the capability of the Indian women's team, the Indian women in blue. And we're all very happy. We're all celebrating them. And Jemimah's story is a story which is very inspirational for a lot of people who believe they can't do it. She showed us. I think her reaction after she won the match for the team speaks about how she feels. Speaks about what she feels about about winning, what she feels about the game, what she feels about everything around it. So I think it's pretty interesting what she's done for us.
And Mr. Vijayan, now I want to ask you, of course, there's a physical prep that an athlete goes through, but everybody is talking about her resilience and her mental strength. So what would you like to say on that?
So I think her mental strength is absolutely inspirational. Her mental strength in terms of how she looks at life, in terms of how she's come back so strong. The fact that she cried just after the game, the mental outpouring she had, the way she reacted to it, speaks for itself. The fact that she was dropped in the last World Cup, I think it's been there at the back of her mind. And to win this game in the last match, she couldn't win this game for India, and now she came in and won this game for India to show that she had the right potential, the capability, and the wherewithal to stay till the end. Playing cricket in India is not just about going out and scoring 70, 60, 80 runs. It's about making your team win, and that too in big situations against quality opposition like Australia. What she has done is phenomenal. What she has done is absolutely inspirational. What she's done is like an absolute great. The whole of India is celebrating her victory. The whole of India, not just in India, but all across the world, Indians across the world are celebrating India's victory, because this is one more step towards the final. And if the woman in blue wins this World Cup, I think it will be an amazing experience. It will be a fitting end to a very, very interesting 2025. And I hope and I firmly believe that India can take this up there, because ultimately you're playing against South Africa, who are also chokers, who do not play well in big situations. So India can actually play up to that, and India has got nothing to lose. India's got everything to win for. India has got the home support, which is India itself. So the Indian women cricket team should be really proud of themselves, of what they have done, what they have achieved, and what they have managed to do with the ability and talent they have. Now all they need to focus on is playing their natural game, going out and expressing themselves, not worrying about the opposition, but just making sure that they deliver the best for the final.
Thank you, Mr. Vijayan. Appreciate you joining